Hello, fellow guitar players. My name is Steve Stine from GuitarZoom. Are bar chords giving you trouble? Now, I've taught millions of people how to play guitar, and today, in about 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to finally understand and play bar chords, even if they seem impossible right now. We're going to start with some simple ideas to learn what they are and how they work, and please make sure that you stick around until the end, and I'm going to show you some tips to help make your bar chords even easier to play. So let's first start by understanding what a bar chord is. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to take an open chord and move it up and down the guitar with a built-in capo, which is going to be your first finger. So in theory, we could take any open chord and move it around, but we're going to start with the most used chord, which is going to be the E chord. This is the most popular one. So we're going to take this E chord and we're going to learn how to just simply move it up the guitar, like this. Now, the problem with doing that, of course, is that the 3 strings that I'm pressing on are going up in pitch, and the 3 strings that I'm not pressing on aren't changing, so it sounds a little bit awkward. So what we want to do, again, is use our built-in guitar capo, our first finger, to do the work of the open strings. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to take this E major chord, we're going to re-finger it so we're using these 3 fingers. Okay, still the same chord. And then when we move up 1 fret, we're going to use this first finger to bar or press on all 6 strings at the same time, which now takes all of the notes of E major, and moves it up 1 fret, okay? And the beauty of this is we can keep going. So every time we move up, the pitch gets higher. So if you know anything about your theory, and it's okay if you don't, but if you know anything about your theory, if this was an E major chord and we move up 1 increment or 1/2 step, we call this an F. If we move up again, we call this F sharp. Move up again, we call it G. We call it G sharp or A flat. Some of these notes have 2 different names. Again, don't worry about that. I just want to teach you how this works. Hey, I'd like to give you my book, Unlocking the Fretboard Connection, for free. You can download it at guitarzoom.com/freebook, or check out the link in the description. So the first thing to do is understand that any open chord can be converted into a bar chord with your first finger. The best place to begin is learning what we call 6-string bar chords, which are E major shapes, E major, moving up and down the guitar. The beauty of this is if you learn the notes on your 6th string, then you'd know where to put this bar chord. Let me show you that super quick. So this is an E note, this is an E major chord. So if we move up and bar, now my first finger is pressing on the note F, which coincides with this chord. This is an F major bar chord. F sharp, G, G sharp, A, and so on. So if you memorize the notes on the 6th string, you'd know where to put the bar, and then you simply make that E major chord behind it. So if this is B, which it is at the 7th fret, I can press there, make that E shape, and I've got a B major chord. So what confuses people is the fact that you're using an E chord. You know, why is this not still E? Because we're talking about pitch, not just what it looks like. It's only E when it's here. As soon as you move it, it still looks like E, but it doesn't sound like E. Okay? Now here's the other super cool thing. You can take this E major chord, and if we wanted it to be minor, we would take this middle finger off the guitar. Now we'd have E minor. Well, if this is F major, if we take that middle finger off the guitar, we now have F minor, F sharp minor, G minor. So you could create minor chords all the way up the guitar as well. So that's how a bar chord is created. And again, there's lots of other bar chords that you can learn how to do by moving other open chord shapes. But what I would recommend if you've never done this before is start with the 6th string, start with the E major, and learn how to do that first. If you want to learn more about these things, you can always head over to guitarzoom.com, and I've got all kinds of stuff that teaches you this sort of stuff. All right, so now the next thing I want to do is show you a little trick that can maybe make these chords easier if you've done these before, but you struggle with getting them to sound good. So the first thing I want you to think about is maybe what you would do is elevate the neck up a little bit and elevate or push the neck out a little bit as well. Okay, and the reason is when you make bar chords, what you don't really want to do is try and press straight on like this with your finger, because then your elbow would be at an awkward position out here, and then you're trying to make these chords. The second thing you don't want to do is come at the chord at this angle like a D chord. Okay, I always call it the steering wheel angle, where people are driving and holding onto a steering wheel, like this, because the little fingers down here are sitting all the way down here. When you make a bar chord, you need to have the little fingers up here. So if we can turn the elbow inward like this, which then turns the hand this direction, Okay? It sends the little fingers up higher so we can do more stuff with making this chord properly, getting these fingers on those strings. And it also turns the finger just a little bit. Now, again, when I was learning how to play this, I was trying to press down straight, and when I learned that I brought the elbow in and almost kind of played on the side of my finger, not completely the side, but kind of right here, then even if the finger was turned just a little bit, I could still get all the notes to sound properly. So part of it is the placement of the guitar, and the next part is the placement of the elbow to put your fingers in the right position. Remember, don't have your wrist upward because it's going to be almost impossible to try and press on all these strings. You want the wrist downward, and you want the wrist turned in, okay? You want to take that elbow and turn it in a little bit. The other thing is try not to necessarily play all the way down here on the first fret or way up here, because it feels kind of awkward, especially if you have smaller arms and stuff like that. If you try and play here, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable, and the further up you go, then of course your arm is going to kind of hit your stomach, and it gets a little bit more difficult. So if you play somewhere between 3 and 7, that's oftentimes a nice place to kind of practice until you get comfortable with it. Hopefully these things help you a little bit in understanding more of what a bar chord is, and then how to actually play it so it feels better for you as well. Thank you for watching this video. If you're enjoying this video and you'd like to support the channel so we can continue to bring you more free content, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications and let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, if you'd like more in-depth training and courses, go to guitarzoom.com and get started for free today.